All right, second inning. This is a payoff pitch production, 1948, Cleveland, Detroit. This is the start of the second inning. I am using Game Pulse Board Companion to enter the results of this game. And what I like about the Board Game Companion is it shows you the screen with all the ratings, all the defensive ratings, the ratings for the offensive players, run ratings, all that kind of stuff. And it's just much easier to play the game this way. So we go to the second inning. It is 1-0 on a Lou Boudreau home run. And that's where we'll start. Art Hoopman in the second. 7:56. That's in play. 56. And that is going to be a fly ball to Wakefield in left field. Fly to Wakefield in left. One away. Allie Clark hitting nothing so far on the year. 682. Tough. 82. Grounds him out to short. 2 down for Cleveland. And here's Kenny Keltner looking for his first hit of the year. 626. That's a tough 26 against a right-hander. That's going to be a double. Kenny Keltner rips a double. 2-out double. And Cleveland here in the second has a runner in scoring position. And Jim Hagan, 7:30, and that's a wild pitch. He wild pitches him to third. Still 2 out. Hagan, 7:63, in play, but that's a ground ball to second base. Side retired. Cleveland threatens, but don't score. As we go to the bottom of the second, and Bobby Feller. Bobby Feller steps in. George Kell. That's a 541. Tough. 41. Fly to right. Kell. Flies out. Right field. Doby is under it. 1 away. Vic Wertz. Actually, Hoot Evers comes up. 435. Tough. 35. And Evers rips a base hit. He rips a base hit with 1 down. Here's Wakefield. 11:21 in play. 21. That's a base hit. And we look at the fact card, that's 1 base advance. 1 base advance on the single. This is so easy to do. Just a couple of clicks and you got all the results and the ratings and everything. It's a beautiful, beautiful game. Here's Vico. 1 away. 7:24. Tough. 24. That's a base hit for Vico. Runner on second scores, and it is 1-1. Runner on second scores. Runner on first advances 1 base, and it is 1-1. Tigers still have runners on first and second with 1 down. And here we go, 11:67 in play. 67, fly to center. Runner's going to hold. Excuse me. Flies out to center. Runner holds. There's 2 outs. And here comes Art Hoopman. 6:17. Patient. 17. And he walked him. And the bases are full of Tigers. Bases full of Tigers here in the second. 1-1. Neil Berry against Bob Feller. And there is a 624. Patient 24. He walked in a run. Feller walked in a run. And it is 2-1 Detroit here in the second. Eddie Mayo, 12-19. That's a wheelhouse, and that's a base hit. 2 bases. Everybody goes 2, and they're in trouble. Feller is in trouble. 4-1. Can he get one more out? George Kell, 559. Tough, 59. He grounded him out to second base. Gordon makes the play, but the damage is done as the Tigers tally 4 here in the second. And now Cleveland will come to bat. And they're going to leave Feller in. 1948, pitchers stayed on the mound. 8-22, Patient 22. And Feller's going to wrap a base hit. Feller smacks a single. 1 on Thurman Tucker. 556. Tough. 56. That is a ground ball to short. And that is going to be a force. Grounds out. Fielder's choice out at second. 6-4. Tucker on at first now. Larry Doby. 793. In play 93. It's going to be a fly to right. 2 down. Fly to right, 2 away. And here comes Boudreaux. He's homered already in this game in the first inning. And here's an 895. Patient 95. That's a fly to left. Dick Wakefield is there to make the play. And that's the inning. That's the inning. Middle of the third. 4-1 Detroit. Feller still on the hill. Facing Wirtz. 526. Tough 26. He struck him out. Feller struck him out, 1 away. And Hoot Evers. Hoot Evers will step in. 969. Patient 6-9. Flies to center. 2 down. Here comes Wakefield. Wakefield 1 for 1 on the afternoon. 460. Tough 60. And that's a grounder to short. Lou Boudreaux makes the play. Easy out. Side retired. Into the 4th. Top of the 4th. Hootman will face Joe Gordon. Joe Gordon, who's hitting 375 on the young season. And here's the pitch, the payoff pitch. Ballpark. 71. That is going to be in play. Just missed. And that's an 8 in play. That's a base hit for Gordon. Gordon gets a single to start things out for Cleveland here in the 4th. Eddie Robinson. Robinson, 515, tough 15. Struck him out. Eddie Robinson on the strikeout. 1 away. Here comes Allie Clark. 0 for 1 today. 709 in play. 09, that's a base hit for Allie. Runner advances 2. Single, runner advances 2. And we got first and third for Kenny Keltner. Home run hitter with 1 down. And here we go. 889. Patient 89. That's going to be a ground out to short. And that is not going to be a double play. 7. No, that's going to be a force. Grounds out to short. Fielder's choice out at second. 6-4. Run scores though. 2 down. And Jim had gone. 9:36. In play, but that's a pop-up on the infield. Pop-up to second base. And that's going to do it for Cleveland, but to get a run back, we go to the middle of the 4th. Feller facing Vico, Wagner, and Hootman. Here's Vico. 1261. That's a wheelhouse. 61. That is going to be a grounder to short. Ground ball to short. He had his pitch, but he couldn't do anything but hit the top of it. Here's Wagner. Wagner 0 for 1. 590. Tough 90. Flies out to right field. Flies out to right. Wagner. 2 away for Hootman. And Hootman 705. Tough. 05. Struck him out. Most pitchers have 1/89 or more on that tough outing. And we go to the 5th. We go to the 5th. Hootman will face Feller, Tucker, and Doby. Here's Bob Feller. 5 on a 10. Tough on a 10. Struck him out. Feller strikes him out 1 away. Thurman Tucker 0 for 2 today. 585. That's a grounder to second. Eddie Mayo makes the play. Easy toss, 2 down. And here's Doby. Doby hitting 200 on the year, 0 for 2 on the day. 976 in play. That's going to be a long fly to center field to retire the side for Cleveland here in the 5th. Bob Feller trots back out. Middle of the 5th. Neil Berry. Berry hitting 056. 0 for 1 today. 860. Tough 60. Grounds to second. 1 quick out for Neil Berry. I don't know how many of you have played this game pulse, but I've not been a payoff pitch guy. But now all of a sudden it's all I want to play because the ratings and everything just makes it easy. You can bunt, you can steal. You don't have to look stuff up. You can enter the stats. Here's Mayo, 534, tough, 34. That's a pop-up to short. Popped him up to short. 2 down. Still 4-2 Detroit. Here comes Kell. 1134 in play. 34. That is a ground ball to third base. Ground ball to third. Keltner makes the play. And this game is moving right along here in Briggs Stadium. We go to the 6th. Boudreaux, he's 1 for 2 with an RBI and a homer, hitting 400 on the year. 674, tough. 74, little grounder to short. Little ground ball to the shortstop, Neil Berry, 1 away. Here's Gordon, 1 for 2. 1 for 2, 10, 16. That's tough. 16, struck him out. Gordon goes down on strikes. 2 down. And here's Eddie Robinson. 836, patient, 36. That's going to be a base hit. He waited him out. Got a 2-out single. Eddie Robinson. And now it's up to Allie Clark. Allie Clark, 10-14. That's going to be a strikeout. Froze him on a dead fish change to end what little thread it was. As we go to the bottom of 6. Feller still hanging in. After that one bad inning, 4-2 still. Here's Wirtz. Wirtz, 6-13. Patient, 13. He walked him. He walked him, and hopefully this will not be the beginning of the end for Feller. Here's Hoot Evers. Evers. He's an A bunter. We're gonna bunt him, and we get him over. Sack bunt. Runner to second. Dick Wakefield, 9-57. Patient, 57. Another walk. Another walk. 2 on. First and second. 1 out. Sam Vico, 347. That's a range play to the third baseman. He is a C. 38. That's a hit. It gets past Keltner. That is a double. It goes right down the bag. That is a double. 2-base advance. That's going to spell the end of Mr. Feller. It is now 5-2 Detroit. Cleveland's going to the bullpen. They're going to bring in Bob Moncrief. Bobby Moncrief will come in. As you can see, his card has got a lot of yellow, a little bit of blue, and some green, which is not good. Now here comes Vico. 1 out, second and third. Hal Wagner, 7:56 in play. 56, that's a fly to left. Fly to left. We're not going to chance that. Fly out. Left field. Slow runner. Runners hold. 2 away, and Wagner steps in. 5:31. That's a ballpark. That's a wheelhouse. Chances are not good. Flies out to center for Wagner. As you can see, his chances are not good on the wheelhouse play. But Detroit gets a run as we go to the 7th. 5-2 Detroit. Hootman will stay in. Kenny Keltner, 865. That's a patient. Oh, he just missed it. Just missed it and hits a little roller to second. Grounded him to second. 1 down. Jim Hagan, 0 for 2. 314. Patient, 14. Walk. He walked him. Hagan. Here comes Moncrief. Moncrief is going to lay 1 down. He gets Hagan to second. Moves him up 2 away. And Tucker, 993. That's going to be an easy fly to Vic Wirtz in right field. And Mr. Hootman is just going through Indians like nothing. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, Neil Berry will step in. Neil Berry, 1167, patient, 6-7, grounds to second, 1 away. Ground ball, second, 1 down. It's just a couple of clicks. Click, 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 and you're into the next batter. Mayo. Mayo, 8-32, tough, 32, and that's a ground ball to first. Grounds him to first. 3-1, pitcher covering, and here's Kell, 2 down, 10-17, patient, that's a walk. Kell walks. 2 down. And here's Wirtz with 2 down, 6-52, tough, 52. And that is going to be a ground ball to third. We'll call that a fielder's choice. Ground out to third. Side retired. And we are into the 8th inning. Hootman still not tired. Still not tired. Another beautiful thing about this game is it shows on the screen. You don't have to worry about fatigue and all that. It shows you when he's tired. It shows you when he's tired, and it shows you the adjustments that is made to the card when he is tired, and you can choose to leave him in or you can choose to take him out. Here's Doby. 8th inning, 3-39, patient 39. That's going to be a double. Larry Doby waits him out, hits a double, and Cleveland can start a rally here. Boudreaux, 1 for 3 with a home run. 5-07, and that is a double. He rarely strikes out on a 7. You can see it right there. That is a double for Boudreaux. Run scores. And we may, and there is the watermark. Hootman is tired. It shows sweat drops. Hootman will come out. Now we go to a very questionable bullpen. We're going to bring in Hal White for the Tigers, as it is now 5-3 here in the 8th. Hal White, there you can see him. There he is. And Joe Gordon, 686, patient 86. That is a ground ball to short. Ground ball to short. And he goes to third. Boudreaux goes to third. His speed gets him to third base. And there's one away. Eddie Robinson. 5-30. There's a wild pitch. Run scores. It is now 5-4. Here comes Robinson. The pitch again. 10-61. Tough. 61. Grounds to short. 2 down. Robinson. 2 away. And here comes Allie Clark. 7-04. In play. 4. That's a base hit for Clark. 2 out single that keeps the rally alive. And now Keltner. 2 down, runner on, 4:39 in play. Keltner is going to pop up to the shortstop to retire the side. Popped him up. High up in the air on the infield. Side retired. We're in the bottom of the 8th. It is now 5-4 Tigers. And here comes Hoot Evers. Hoot Evers, 10-14. That's going to be a walk. That's going to be a patient and a walk. Here is Wakefield. Wakefield, 12-79. Wheelhouse, almost. 79. That's going to be a fly to center. Deep fly to center. He almost hit one. 1 down. Vico. Vico 752 in play, high number, flies to left, 2 down, flies to left, 2 away, and Hal Wagner with 2 down, 6-16, struck him out. Feller just blew, or Moncrief just blew it past him. And now we go to the 9th. Last chance, Cleveland. Hagan, a pinch hitter, and Tucker. Jim Hagan, trailing by a run. 9-61, tough pitch. 61, grounds to second. 1 away. Pinch hitter. Cleveland will go to its bullpen. They're going to bring in Dale Mitchell. Dale Mitchell to pinch hit. Dale Mitchell, pretty good average in real time. There's Mitchell, 977, and that's going to be a grounder to second. Ground ball, and we're down to 1 out. 1 out for Cleveland. And it's going to be Thurman Tucker. Tucker is 0 for 4 and 0 for the season so far. And there's a 737 in play. That is a ground ball to George Kell at third. That is the game. That is the game. Now, let me show you what happens after the game is you get this. You get a box score. And you can look at all the stats. And you can close it. And you can end the game. Then you go to the standings. You can see now Detroit is 4-1. Cleveland drops to 1-2 on the season. So this is a wonderful tool. It's got the league leaders. You can simulate the games, and it will simulate payoff pitch games. So you know every game is being rolled by payoff pitch, so you can get good statistics. Okay. So thanks for joining me on Diamond Chronicles. Detroit, Cleveland, 1948 baseball. Final score, Indians 4, Detroit 5. See ya.